1. When designing a training module for responsible alcohol service, which instructional strategy best aligns with adult learning principles? A. Memorization drills. B. Scenario-based role play. C. Passive lecture delivery. D. Timed recall quizzes. 2. In evaluating a trainee's ability to refuse service to an intoxicated customer, the most effective assessment method is A. Written multiple choice test. B. Peer evaluation survey. C. Direct observation during a role play. D. End of course satisfaction questionnaire. 3. A responsible alcohol management program, RAMP curriculum, must comply with state regulatory standards. Which step ensures alignment? A. Review of past training evaluations. B. Consultation with legal counsel. C. Mapping objectives to state regulations. D. Asking trainees for feedback. 4. Which mentoring technique is most effective for reinforcing alcohol compliance behaviors among new staff? A. Informal conversations during breaks. B. Structured shadowing with feedback. C. Assigning independent reading. D. Posting reminders on bulletin boards. 5. In adult education, self-directed learning is critical. Which training method encourages this in alcohol management instruction? A. Mandatory pretests. B. Interactive e-learning modules. C. Instructor-only demonstrations. D. Printed manuals without discussion. 6. A trainer observes that learners are disengaged during a session on checking IDs. What communication adjustment is most effective? A. Increase lecture pace. B. Integrate real-world case examples. C. Ask learners to read ID laws silently. D. Extend the session with more slides. 7. Which evaluation tool provides the most reliable evidence that staff can apply responsible service principles? A. Post-training knowledge test. B. Customer satisfaction survey. C. On-the-job performance checklist. D. Attendance record. 8. When designing a lesson on identifying fake IDs, which curriculum development principle should guide content selection? A. Focus on theoretical legal language. B. Emphasize practical, observable features. C. Include only historical case studies. D. Rely exclusively on textbook material. 9. What is the most effective feedback style for mentoring a staff member who mishandles a service refusal? A. Immediate, constructive, specific feedback. B. General feedback at the end of the week. C. Written memo left in the staff mailbox. D. Public criticism in front of peers. 10. A key principle of adult learning and alcohol compliance training is A. Repetition without context. E. Application of knowledge to real-world scenarios. C. Memorization of statutes word for word. D. Instructor-only knowledge delivery. 11. Which communication strategy best supports cultural sensitivity in alcohol service training? A. Ignoring differences in learning preferences. B. Providing examples inclusive of diverse communities. C. Limiting materials to one cultural context. D. Using jargon familiar only to industry experts. 12. When evaluating a training program's effectiveness, which data source is most aligned with regulatory compliance goals? A. Employee satisfaction ratings. B. Rate of alcohol-related violations after training. C. Number of staff attending sessions. D. Peer-to-peer survey results. 13. Which mentoring approach fosters long-term responsible service practices? A. Periodic coaching sessions with reflection. B. Single-day intensive training only. C. Posting state laws in break rooms. D. Relying on self-study packets. 14. To ensure training aligns with adult learning theory, a facilitator should A. Emphasize learner experiences as a resource. B. Avoid interactive activities to save time. C. Stick strictly to legal text recitation. D. Focus only on memorizing test answers. 15. Which of the following best measures transfer of learning from ramp training to the workplace? A. Trainees' test scores immediately post-class. B. Trainers' end-of-session notes. C. Supervisor's observation of staff interactions. D. Number of hours completed in training. 16. A common barrier in teaching responsible alcohol service is learner resistance. Which instructional technique reduces resistance? A. Highlighting personal relevance of compliance. B. Reading policy documents verbatim. C. Using complex legal jargon. D. Extending session duration. 17. When conducting curriculum evaluation, which question best ensures regulatory compliance? A. Did trainees enjoy the training? B. Were all mandated topics addressed? C. Were the slides visually appealing? D. Was the room temperature comfortable? 18. Which feedback technique encourages reflective practice in mentoring? A. Asking staff to analyze their own responses. B. Delivering a checklist without discussion. C. Correcting errors only after multiple incidents. D. Limiting feedback to written notes. 19. A trainer wants to adapt content for learners with different levels of experience in alcohol service. Which curriculum design principle applies? A. One-size-fits-all approach. B. Differentiated instruction. C. Strict adherence to uniform pacing. D. Elimination of role-play exercises. 20. When evaluating communication effectiveness in training, which measure is most valid? A. Amount of material covered. B. Learner's ability to explain refusal techniques. C. Number of slides used. D. Speed of trainer's delivery. 21. Which adult learning principle explains why experiential activities are essential in alcohol management training? A. Adults prefer rote memorization. B. Adults learn best when content connects to prior experience. C. Adults resist problem-solving exercises. D. Adults require only theoretical instruction. 22. During a compliance audit, the best evidence of program effectiveness is A. Employee opinion polls. B. Documented proof of trained staff applying service refusals. C. Photographs of training sessions. D. Trainers' credentials. 23. Which mentoring technique best strengthens problem-solving in alcohol service compliance? A. Presenting hypothetical dilemmas for discussion. E. Providing pre-written responses to memorize. C. Reviewing policy manuals without interaction. D. Focusing only on past violations. 24. In adult learning, intrinsic motivation is fostered by A. Relating training content to professional responsibilities. B. Requiring silent reading of laws. C. Mandating rote memorization of penalties. D. Ignoring participant input. 25. Which is the most effective evaluation method for determining long-term impact of alcohol service training? A. Quarterly compliance performance reviews. B. End-of-training quiz results. C. Trainer self-reflection journal. D. Trainee sign-in sheets. 26. To ensure clarity in communication when teaching ID verification, the trainer should A. Use technical jargon exclusively. B. Demonstrate techniques with visual aids. C. Provide only written rules. Avoid interactive questioning. 27. Which principle of curriculum development ensures training relevance in alcohol management programs? A. Alignment with adult learning goals and workplace realities. E. Exclusive use of outdated policy documents. C. Reliance on one-way lectures. D. Elimination of practice exercises. 28. A mentoring strategy that supports continuous improvement in responsible alcohol service is: A. Encouraging peer mentoring sessions. B. Limiting feedback to annual evaluations. C. Discouraging staff discussions on compliance. D. Providing only punitive responses. 29. Which evaluation method best identifies skill gaps in responsible alcohol service? A. Observational assessments during simulations. B. Anonymous opinion surveys. C. Counting attendance rates. D. Reviewing training slides. 30. The most effective communication method for teaching refusal statements is: A. Role-playing difficult customer scenarios. B. Reading refusal scripts aloud. C. Showing refusal statements on slides only. D. Assigning written homework. 31. Which adult learning principle is applied when trainers connect compliance requirements to learners' job experiences? A. Self-directed learning. B. Relevance-oriented instruction. C. Cognitive overload. D. Passive absorption. 32. A regulatory compliance review finds that a training module lacks updated content on alcohol laws. The trainer should: A. Postpone training until the next audit. B. Revise the curriculum to include current regulations. C. Continue teaching outdated content. D. Allow trainees to research laws independently.